I know what the problem is. Good morning, Galaxy, and good morning, Robbie. I know what the problem is. It's an hour early because it's supposed to be 11 o'clock Tunisia time. Robbie, what time is it there now? 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
10 o'clock. Normally it's 10 o'clock Tunisian time.
Yeah, I wasn't available at 10 o'clock Tunisian time.
And
so,
it's 10 now in Tunisia, it's 10.
Yeah, and we're going to start at 11.
That's 11.
Yeah. So that's what the problem is the time difference. So yeah, it's okay. So what I recommend, grab a bite to eat, have a cup of coffee, and let's see, what I'll do is I'll leave the room open, but I'll leave it blank, and I'll be back here in, let's say, a half an hour. Okay?
Sorry, do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Good. So in our administration, they sent us a paper telling us that it's at 10 Tunisian time. But now I'm discovering on my screen it's 11. It's on at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
There is a misunderstanding, I think.
Yes, it was. I had another thing happening at 10 o'clock Tunisian. So I told Med that I could only do it at 11, which is what they put on Facebook, and what the email I sent out said was 11. So I apologize for that.
It's okay. It's no problem. So you leave the room open and we wait for about 20 minutes if you want.
Yeah, and then we'll have a little chat before we start at 11. How's that sound?
Yeah, why not? So we'll be back in 20 minutes, half an hour?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour. Okay. So everybody take a rest. If it's sunny there, go get some sun, feel better. And we'll see you here at, let me type it in. We will start at, so you're, we'll say 10:45 Tunisia time, okay?
Unique person? Am I the unique person here?
No, we have a couple other. We have Ines and somebody on a cell phone. So, very good. All right, so go take a break and we'll be back in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, sorry for the confusion.
It's a good idea.
No?
Yeah.
No, there are others.
There's others here, but...
Yes, I can see them now.
Yeah, what we're going to...
Nice to meet you, Mr. Rob.
Oh, nice to meet you too. And what I'm going to do with the people that are here, because we've got a few of you here early, but the good thing for me is I can have a nice informal chat with you guys and find out a little bit more about your reality in Tunisia, if you don't mind. So, tell me a little bit about what's happening there. Are you teaching online or face-to-face right now?
This depends on the school statute. So state schools are not teaching online. Just teachers who are not already done with the schedule and the program they are giving for classes for the final classes. For private schools, some of them are working online, and that's all. But mainly we can say that teaching in Tunisia is on a standby mode.
Yeah. Okay. And how's the internet and connections there for most of the students and teachers? Is it good?
That's another problem. Not that good at all.
Yeah.
We've got very bad quality and strength of connection right here.
Mm-hmm.
Bad servers.
Yeah. And do most of the students have cameras?
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe even the students who have cameras, they don't want to open their cameras. They prefer to just hear the teacher and not see him also.
Unacceptable for me. In fact, I want all of you to turn your cameras on because I want to see you.
Yes.
So
And here we are.
great.
So,
Hi.
hi.
I didn't do my makeup today either, so don't worry about it.
No, no. There's no problem. I don't put makeup usually. I'm just a
Neither
naturalist.
do I.
I don't have enough time.
Good.
Always in a hurry for the class, for the kids, and that's it.
And so, Emna, what do you teach?
I teach here in Soos, in a prep school.
In prep school, what ages are you teaching?
Not young, juniors, 12, 15. They are 12, 15 years old.
Okay.
They are juniors.
And are you teaching them English or are you teaching them other subjects?
No, English.
English.
All the teachers who are going to attend this session are English teachers.
Okay, strictly English, not CLIL or anything else like that.
No.
Okay,
no,
good to know.
No. Specialized teachers. Here in Tunisia, we are specialized teachers. Every teacher is licensed in a subject, so he teaches the subject he's licensed at.
Very good. And Amel, how about yourself? You can unmute and tell me a little bit about your reality.
In fact, I'm 43 years old.
Oh, no, never tell me that. Next, you're going to tell me your weight. I don't want to hear. No.
Okay. Amber, you told me to tell you about myself, so I'm starting by my age.
Oh, no, I was asking Amel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bachir, good morning.
Yeah. So I want to hear a little bit about all of you, so I get to know a little bit. It's nice to know the people you're talking with. So Amel, what do you teach? You're teaching English?
The same, yes, of course, English.
Same.
In a prep school here in Soos. Okay, they are aged 12 until 14, 15, the average.
Very good. And what do you find? Are they using their cameras? Are they participating, or do they really hate learning online?
Oh, they are lazy to learn online. Yeah.
Well, let me put this politely. I do a lot of these webinars, and what I find is, as we see here, teachers won't even turn on their cameras and participate. How do we expect our students to do the same?
It's the same thing, yeah.
Yep. So
yes,
all of you teachers, turn on your cameras, please. Let me see you. And I actually have a rule. I teach privately. And most of what I do right now is one-to-one. Because I have my own business. And I insist, if a person doesn't use the camera, I won't teach them. And when I do teach groups, they have to have a very good excuse, like their camera is broken, and I'll only let that go one class, because I really feel, this is like a student in your classroom sitting there like this the whole time. Would you accept that? No.
In fact, I think this obeys to the rule of the eye-to-eye contact in class. The camera is our eye.
Exactly.
So keeping eye contact is somehow keeping them attracted to you, keeping them following the lesson, keeping them under control.
Yes.
It's a matter of human existence.
Yeah.
Eye contact is a powerful tool in class.
Oh, it certainly is. And one of the things I do another talk on this is the fact that you're online. I actually like it better than face to face because, for example, I'm much closer to you, Emna, than I would be in a classroom. And I can see your expressions to see if you're understanding,
Yeah.
to see if you're bored, everything else. And even Amel, you know, I can see, you know, she's like, oh, he's boring.
I'm just listening.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But, you know, it gives us the opportunity, and this is part of class management. And, you know, I really think that it should be a requirement. I know in some countries, they don't have the internet strong enough. I used to teach a university class in China, and if we turned on the cameras, we couldn't hear anything. So we had to turn them off. But, you know, very good.
And I think it's gonna be the same right here when we receive other teachers with us.
Yeah.
For today, I think it's a good, good enough as quality for the internet. But if we are going to have more teachers with us, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to hear you.
Yeah. Well, what we'll probably do once I start talking and give the presentation, I'll let people turn the cameras off. That's okay. Because then it's a lecture. But we are going to we'll do a little bit of work together, and, you know, we'll see how many people show up, and we might do breakout rooms, or we may just have one set of volunteers, and I'll have you turn on your cameras and we'll all watch a simulated classroom.
Yeah, hybrid class.
Good. And what about everybody else? I've already seen Robbie. Robbie was here before, and I know he'll turn his camera on. How about some of the others? How about Inez? Hi, Robbie. And how about Inez and Rim Ben? I'm very sorry if I mispronounce your names, but I'm speaking like an American reading what I can see. So, Robbie, I think you're still muted. No? Well, wait a minute. I'm not hearing you, though. Robbie, unplug your headphones and then plug them back in again. Maybe that'll help.
Do you hear me now?
Now I hear you. Can you hear me?
Problem with my laptop. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, probably better off without the headphones.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Emna. Good morning.
morning.
Good morning, Rabia. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Are you okay?
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
Long time not seen.
Yeah. Too much time.
رمضانك مبروك يا ليلى. رمضانكم مبروك.
عايشك ربيع.
عام بخير.
Now, are you all in the same general area?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, we are all in Sus.
Yeah, and I really know very little about Tunisia and even less about Sousse. I had to look at it on a map the other day to realize the closest I've been is Malta. So I'd have to swim across to get to you. Very good. So you don't have snow over there, do you? No,
No.
Robbie, the voice
We
is
have the sunshine here.
Yeah,
It's very nice weather today.
yeah. Well, it's sunny here today, but it's only about 7 degrees.
Here it's nearly 26, I think.
Yes, maybe more.
Yeah, you can go swimming.
Oh,
The weather here is wonderful. The weather here.
yeah.
Yes,
It's
sunny, warm. Yes.
Good. Hello.
It's a real spring day.
Yes. Well, it's about time.
It's about 22 degrees, 22, 23 degrees. About
I
that.
think more, Rabia. We are going to touch the late 27, 28. It's very hot right here.
28 degrees.
Oh, well, this is why I moved to Poland 4 years ago, because I lived in Rio de Janeiro. I was living in Brazil for about 15, 16 years. And a normal day was about 27. A cold day for them was about 22. But when it hit 40, too much for me.
Good
And
morning, Rob. How are you?
great in yourself, Mohammed.
And nice to hear from you. Yes. And good morning.
morning.
Good morning. Yes, Yamna. How are you? Good morning.
Yes.
Rabia. Good morning, Rabia.
I'm trying to convince the other teachers to turn their cameras on here.
Okay. Yes, it will
They're
be better
shy.
for connection. Yeah.
Well, you're the boss, right? Tell everybody to turn on their camera or they're fired.
No, no, let them free. They sometimes use cams and sometimes they don't, but most of them use the cams. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
let them
I
free,
like
yeah.
I like to see happy faces when I'm talking.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
If
that's right.
if you're unhappy, then you can turn off your camera.
Do you see how democratic our boss is?
Yeah. You're very lucky, you know. Normally you hear
my
minister.
colleagues are my friends, and we live in a family like situation. So
Very nice.
very friendly with each other. Yeah.
Well, you must do a lot of face-to-face conferences under normal conditions, I would think, right?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it's nice.
for this malicious virus, just
Yeah. How bad is it there? Is it very bad?
these days it has become worse. But let's say during last month and the month before, the situation was normal. Just it was kind of better than what it is now.
Yeah.
But I think this variable, this African, I don't know, virus,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to the British virus.
Yeah.
So they're making things worse. Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening with vaccination there? Do you have it even available yet?
Vaccination is a problem. There's a lot of hassle and about it, just within the government, and
Yeah.
so we're receiving free vaccination from different helping countries,
Mm-hmm.
but this is not enough.
Yeah. Well,
So
next year at the same time, hopefully we're all face to face again and
hopefully,
everything's back to normal.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully. It's not sure, but let's hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Very good. And let's see. So we'll give it what? We've got a few more minutes. Give it a
Yeah,
couple
a
more
few
minutes.
famous. Some teachers are still asking me about to send them the code, and
Okay.
so let me first contact them. Yeah.
Good.
But just after 5 minutes, you find most people here. Just
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And it gives me a chance to learn a little bit about Tunisia. So
Thank
that's
you.
good.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah.
That's
Thank you
good.
very much. Yeah.
I hope to be there someday.
Yeah, why not? We would be happy to see you here. Yeah, why not?
Nice.
But if you are if you like the beach and so on, so it comes summer, you better come in summer. But if you like it, just to do some sightseeing and to visit some places here, we'd better come this time, because this time of year the weather is nice, and there is no heavy traffic and no overcrowdedness by tourists and so on. So it's better to come this time.
Great.
Unless you like the beach and the sea, of course.
Well, I live on the beach and the sea here.
Okay, so.
Except it's the Baltic, so it's very, very cold.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy sightseeing, and I'm really a huge fan of architecture. So, to see that, I've seen some pictures. Your architecture is beautiful. So that's what I'll do. Great. And for those of you entering, welcome. We're just waiting a few minutes.
Keep an eye, Rob. Keep an eye on people asking for to be allowed in, because I think he should be allowed in first.
Yeah, everybody's in. I don't do a waiting room, so I don't have to worry about that.
Okay,
Everybody will come straight in.
that's right.
Very good. And okay, for Galaxy J7, just so you know, this webinar will be 100% virus free. Okay. So,
I think he's in class.
yeah, but very good. And great. Oh, we have two. I don't know if you say Samia or Samia.
Samia, yeah.
Samia. Good morning.
Good morning, Samia.
Morning.
And as I said, you know, I'm American, so I'm going to mispronounce all of your names. So bear with me. And I guess the closest I got was Robbie. It's like me, I'm a Robbie.
But, Rabia, huh?
Oh, you have an at the end of it?
Yeah.
Rabia?
Rabia, that's it, yeah.
Very good. Okay, great. And welcome everyone as you're coming in. Feel free to turn on your camera. I love to see smiling faces. And if you're not happy, smile anyway, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's that?
Kais.
Yes.
Face. How are you, Face?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you? I miss you so much, Simon. We haven't
Nice to
met
see you.
for too long. Yes.
So long, yeah. How are you doing in the south?
Well,
It must be pretty. Must be
I'm
hot
doing,
now.
I'm doing some reading because I'm preparing my pedagogical memoir.
I see.
We are supposed to prepare a memoir, so I'm doing some reading and I'm having fun. And I'll start preparing my lessons.
I see. But what about the weather, Sifais? Is it hot, cold now? I guess it's hot there.
It's cool. It's cool. Yes,
Cool.
it's cool. It's a bit cold at night, but
Ah.
the weather is fine. It's fine.
So it's almost the same as here.
Nice to see you again, and
Thank you.
I'm
You're
happy.
welcome.
I'm happy to participate. And I'm happy to be attending this session because it's really interesting. And I'm sure I'll benefit from this session.
Oh, no pressure on me there, huh? No, you will.
Yes.
I'll give you some good stuff that you can use in class tomorrow if you had to. And you know, I don't like talking academic. I don't like talking theory. I like
That's
talking
right.
what actually works in the classroom. And someday maybe I'll be back and we'll talk about one of my other projects for teenagers.
Yeah.
Because I love teaching teenagers and I actually miss it. So good. All right. Well, we got about 16 people so far. What do you think, Mohammed? Wait a little bit or get started?
Well, I think we can start, but at the same time, if you don't mind, could you just please allow all the teachers to come in, or can they come without asking for permission?
They can come right in. They don't need
So then
permission.
we can start, no problem. Just
Okay.
first, if you don't mind, Rob, just give them a word of introduction about yourself so that they.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right. Very good. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. And just if you could for now, if you could mute your microphones. And
That's good. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
yeah, but you know, leave your camera on. I like seeing smiling faces. And if anybody comes in, I'll try and mute the mic if it's too noisy. But a little bit about me. Well, I've been teaching for about 100 years, teaching English for about the last 25. But before that, I've taught business. I was actually used to teach music because I'm a professional musician. And I'm from the United States, so I have to apologize. My English isn't very good. I'm American. So bear with me. And basically, I come from a business background, which is why right now I'm the joint coordinator for the IHFO Business English Special Interest Group. And business is one of my specialties. And but I also have taught in the classroom. I teach all levels, and one of my favorite things to teach is actually teenagers. And I miss teaching teenagers and being in the classroom, because I think they really have the most to offer and they get the most involved in class. I have my own online language school. I also teach with a few other teachers. And if you see up in the corner with Alexa Dot, maybe, I have EFL Talks, which is a thing that I've been doing for 5 years now for free teacher development for teachers all over the world. So I do a bunch of other things, but that's enough for now. So let me share my screen and tell you a little bit more. So let me just open up so I see the chat if you have any questions. All right, so getting started. Get my mouse to work.
I was wondering, how good looking you were when you were a young boy, you know, just looking at your photo.
I'm adorable, aren't I?
You know, a film star. I think he.
You know, I wish
see, you're still
had...
adorable, but I see there a star in front of me. I can see everything.
Yeah, it's working online has, you know, it put on the beard and all the weight, and I look so much older now.
You're still smart, but I'm just drawing your attention to the time when you used to be, you know.
Yep. Well, you're actually going to see a lot more of this, because I'm going to tell you my story here.
Okay, go ahead.
And so here's me. And
wow.
Since I was little, I've been called cute. And even as a youngster, I've always been cute. And I was really into music, so I've studied it. From the age of 13, I've been in many bands. Whoops. And as I got older, I've learned how to sail a boat. Although I wish I could be, I haven't been a pirate yet. So my treasure is that I've been a teacher for over 20 years. But I still have continued with my music. And I've been speaking all over the world. And I've trained thousands of teachers. But I've continued teaching online. So that's my story. And in the chat room, what did you notice about my story other than I'm so cute? Did you notice something in the story that I told? Just type in the chat room, or if you want to open your mic quickly and just say what it is, shout it out. Did anybody notice a trend? I'll give you a hint. It was in yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Any ideas? No. Okay, nobody's answering.
Continue with,
okay, yeah.
You're still in the field of education, huh?
Yeah.
Continuity. There is continuity there.
Yeah. What I was doing is, if you notice through the slides, what I was working with.
Present perfect.
Yes, there you go. I was working with the perfect tenses. And what I was doing is, this was targeted as something to specifically work on these tenses in the story. And I'll show you how I work with this as we go along. And what I do is I use this to make sure the students are comfortable with using specific grammar without having to say, use this specific grammar. Now, we all know about 21st century skills. You hear them called the soft skills, real skills, or what I like to call them things that we do every day. Because it is something, these are skills we've always had. But if you look at the report from the World Economic Forum, the skills that are declining and the skills that are growing is going to make a change in how we should be teaching and what we should be teaching. As far as it's not just language anymore. I think it's become more and more important. And if you hear a lot of these webinars, we talk more and more about analytical thinking, creativity, originality, and social influence, because the world is becoming smaller. And what's happening is you have to keep in mind, why are most people learning English these days? You know, they're not doing it so they can watch a movie on Netflix or take a 1-week vacation at Disney. Most people are learning English because they realize that in the workplace, in the future, in a global economy, they're going to have to work within a language that they can discuss. If you're having a problem with the sound, my best suggestion is, why don't you leave and come back in?
That's right.
And if you're using headphones or not using headphones, just check your setting for the speakers, okay?
Yes.
And if not, I hope you can read lips.
Do lips.
Sorry, I have a weird sense of humor. But what happens is we're really working with excuse me, a new mindset. And we want to take advantage of imagination, because the kids today have a lot more creativity than we give them credit for. And we want to avoid boredom, you know, in any classroom. So we are a visual society. And kids today are bombarded with visuals, much more than when we were young. We didn't see that much, and we didn't see it so quickly, but they're getting used to it. And my trigger finger, for instance, we see this visual. Now, what's this visual? What does this mean? Anybody ideas? Type in the chat or shout out.
Communication.
Communication. What do you think this is? This is hanging on the side of a wall. Any idea what it is? It's a telephone box. So if you open this up, there's an emergency telephone here. Okay. So it's the international sign for telephone.
Yeah.
And how about this?
Emergency exit.
Exactly. It's an emergency exit. So I don't need words. The visuals give me an idea. Now, this is a sign that's here in Poland, which I'm not sure if it means clean up after your dog or give your dog an enema. I don't read Polish yet. But it's, I'm sure it's something to do with cleaning up after your dog. I'm just going to mute some of the mics here to get rid of the noise. Great. Okay. Just so we don't have an echo. So we're very visual, and we need to take advantage of them being visual. And I think we can make much more impact by using visuals in the classroom. And I don't think we use it enough. And to give you an idea, I studied neurolanguage coaching, and this tells you about the brain. and how we need repetition to go from short-term memory to give consolidation to go into long-term memory, or else we lose things right away. And we know this is why we used to do drilling and practicing. The repetition is important. And working with visuals even strengthens this, because 50% of our brain is actually wired for visuals. So if we look at this study was done a few years ago, and what they found is that when students are taught anything, the accuracy rate and the retention rate is much longer for visual learning than it is for auditory learning. So everything I say right now, unless I had a picture with it, you're going to forget much quicker. So if we can take advantage of putting both together, it's going to be even stronger for accuracy and for long-term retention. And everybody is big on storytelling. You'll see in webinars all the time, people are talking about telling stories and how powerful they can be. And I agree. But I want to take it one step further. Everybody can tell a story, but as Fred Barnard said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And every picture tells a story, don't it? Famous song. And let's look again at what the skills are for the future. And let me show you the breakdown. Here are the top 10 emerging skills, and I'm going to highlight them just a little. My mouse is going crazy. Okay, here are the ones: analytical thinking and innovation, creativity, originality, and initiative. Critical thinking, again, problem solving, social influence, and complex problem solving. These are really the important skills that are going to come out in the future. And I think it's great that we can mix these skills into an English class very easily by just changing what we're talking about, changing how we talk about things. And we can help give our students a head start with these skills with very little effort. Now, think about a good story. And a good story is usually entertaining, educational. It's normally universal. It's organized, and most stories become memorable. We remember all those stories we were told as kids, and, you know, they come back to us today. Every so often we see movies which are based on stories that we heard as kids. So these are definitely memorable when working with stories. Now, good stories usually have important characters, some kind of conflict, insight into something. There's always some kind of transformation moment and resolution. So we're going to explain to our students about what a story is a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be aware of the audience, in your case, teenagers, what the idea behind the story is going to be, the message, and how we'll deliver it. Now, excuse me, as I told you, those who were here early, I love to take pictures when I travel, and I travel a lot. So I constantly have my cell phone out and I'm taking pictures. And what I did is I said, well, I'm going to use these pictures and take advantage of them. And I made these image clusters, and you'll see I've actually named what they all are. One is something strange. You know, these are when you look at your pictures and say, what was that, my foot? Or, you know, you get something accidentally. I keep those because it gives you something strange. You'll see food, a place, an activity, transportation, scenery, objects, and a being. And what I've done is I've made all different clusters based around these criterion. And what we're going to do is use this to have students build a strategic narrative. So they're going to use my pictures and build a story. So this is the workshop-y part of this, of what we're going to do. And what I'd like to do is get 5 volunteers. And the first 5 to unmute your mic and just say me. Robbie, okay, Robbie's here. Say hi. Unplug your headphones, Robbie. Rabia.
Me?
Okay, Emna, great. I need 3 more people. Come on, teachers. How do you expect your students to volunteer if you don't? Come on. Amel, great.
Me.
Great. One more. All right. Great. Very good. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to be the guinea pigs today. You're going to be my class. Okay. You are my students. What you're going to do is you're going to create a story. And then you're going to present the story at the end. All right. Now, remember what we're working with. I'm going to give you a picture, and we have 8 different objects within this picture, and you're going to have to talk about every object on the page. It can be in any order. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a story using the 8 photos, and we'll pick something for here. All right. Now, here's the different grammar points that I want to work on. You as a group, okay, Samia, I'm seeing you. You can pick one of these grammar points. Which one would you like to do?
Relative clause.
Okay, relative clauses. So what you're going to do is you are going to, I'll come back to this. Let me show you the picture. Let's use this picture here. You as a group are going to make up a story using these pictures. And with each picture, I want a relative clause in the story. So you're going to work together. So talk to each other. So let's put, we need somebody in charge here. Who are we going to make the boss? All right, I'm going to make Emna the boss. Okay, so Emna, you get them all going and write down the story as we go. Okay, understand?
Yeah, yes, I'm with you. So we are going to start the class in front of the others right now.
Yes, you're the guinea pigs.
I'm the one to manage it.
Yes.
Listen. Okay, so we are going to build a story based on these pictures using the relative clause as topic, grammatical topic of our story. Isn't? Do you agree, all of you?
Okay.
Yes.
So, which one would be our setting, our first setting for the story? A story, donc we need a setting. So, which one is going to be the first setting?
Picture 3.
Sorry?
Picture 3, I think.
Picture 3, which is? We should agree.
This here.
No, it's this one.
Here, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
All right. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the other pictures.
Emma,
So, yes, Rabia.
can you do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Rabia.
Okay, let me try another thing, and I would like to ask the same question in a few seconds.
Okay. No, we're not hearing you. Yep. So,
I have a problem with my setting, but I will do my best.
okay, great.
Okay, so let's start with the picture at the restaurant, if possible.
So, yes, we started with it. We already chose it.
Yep. Okay.
The second one?
At the
So,
restaurant.
The restaurant. He said at the restaurant. So.
Many things in life start at restaurants.
so now tell me about the restaurant in your story. And remember, I need a relative clause in there.
So I think here is the restaurant where everything started. Shall we write?
Yeah, somebody write it down. Actually, we don't have to. We have a good
Don't
idea.
have to. Okay.
Normally, we
You
would.
should agree among yourselves, I think.
Yes. And I want you all to participate.
Maybe Amna, someone else would suggest another sentence, a better sentence.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Samia, what do you think? How shall we start?
Me? Which Samia? Which Samia? There are
We have two
Samias.
We are
Samias
talking
here.
about the picture of the restaurant, number 3.
Yeah. Number 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
right.
1, 2. Fasting. Yes, Samia. A sentence including a relative clause.
Okay, so here, let's say
Two.
the dining table is the place where we can start our dinner after a long day fasting.
Yeah. Okay. Emil.
Okay, I think that this is the restaurant where all our story started.
Approximately the same thing, me and you.
Yeah.
What would our man say, Rabia?
This is the perfect place where things may start.
May start.
Yes, in life. I mean, life. Things start in restaurants. The meeting.
Another suggestion. So restaurants are places or not places. So going to restaurants is the time when moms are exhausted.
Are the most exhausted. Okay.
It's a place where people meet.
Yeah, to go, the place to go. If the
Where-
mother is exhausted, she can't go there.
Where a love story can start.
Here I'm speaking about cooking it and house chores, etc.
You're going to think about
I
story.
meant-
You're going to create a story.
A lot of stories start in restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to another picture and tie the next picture in.
All right. So.
The first one?
The first one.
Since we are still, I know, no, the second, so.
This one here.
Yeah. Since we started to speak about the restaurant in general. Okay, so we carry on by saying, for example, that this is the place where we met the people who we love. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes. So.
More input. Other students, what do you think?
Yes. So this is the best dinner I had with those who I love most.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I want some arguing. I want some discussion here. Let's go.
I would say, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say this is the place where I never care about the bill.
Where I eat the most fat things right here. I don't
Well,
know.
or where I never pay the bill.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. I know who I'm not going to dinner with when I get to Tunisia now, Rabia. Good. All right, let's
Yes,
try another
Samia.
picture.
Samia?
Yeah. So
So,
I'm thinking about a good example.
okay, your participation, your
Last,
suggestion.
I have a suggestion. Last night we had a nice dinner at the restaurant which was recommended by our friend Ahmed.
Very nice.
Yes.
I say that's a winner. And let's see, how did you get to the restaurant?
By car.
By car, for example.
Okay, so where do we go?
We went there by car.
Yes.
The car which my friend's boyfriend offered her for her 39th birthday.
Okay.
Nice car.
Yeah.
Nice car.
Must be from the family of Bill Gates.
And then what else? Where do we go from there?
But before the restaurant, I think we were at Leisure Park where we played a lot. We met our friends who we didn't see for years.
Yes.
Okay, so we have this bottom row and this strange one. We still need to fit into the story. How are we going to fit them?
We went there when the moon was shining.
Do you mean picture one?
Just a second, I need to leave for just
Yeah,
a second.
we have 1, 6,
Wow.
7, and 8.
Okay. 6, last night we went to a very nice restaurant which serves healthy food.
Okay. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. How about these others? All right, start off with what are we seeing? What do we think it is? And then let the group be creative. Let's hear some opinions of what it is, and then maybe a sentence will come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
There were different kinds of juice, which I wanted to experience all, if they are Jews here, I think.
Mhm. Can be whatever you want it to be.
No, it seems like.
Mhm.
Is that juice?
I don't know.
Maybe
They
ice
seem to be
cream,
bottles or ice cream, maybe.
cupcakes, some
Candles.
kind of
I think.
cupcakes.
These are candles. Or I think they are candles.
Candles.
You- whatever you want.
Yeah, that's very romantic. It's turning into a romantic story. Candles.
We
Candles, then the moon. It was the 39th birthday. I'm going weird.
And how about this one?
Oh, wow. And I felt like a champion.
A hand holding a fish.
I don't think it's a fish. It's something strange.
It looks like a bomb.
I think we should think about an idiom about fishing. Do we have an idiom about fishes in general?
Anything romantic with fish? I don't know.
I have something, but I'm not going to tell.
Yeah, tell it. And I felt free like a fish.
Sorry,
And I felt free like a fish.
Rabia, couldn't hear you. What did you say? I want to laugh with you, Rabia.
Yeah, maybe you could speak up and make hear your sentence.
Yeah, he said he felt free like a fish.
Ah, feeling free like a fish. No, it's something else.
And let's see, I want the strange one. This is going to be the hardest.
The hardest. I think it's someone looking through the window. It's part of a curtain, maybe. Watching or looking through the window. What do you think, Samia?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah, come on, please.
I felt like a fish underwater, which could go wherever it wanted, for example, wherever it was.
Here we are going back to freedom.
Yes, I love freedom.
Very good.
So feel free like a fish.
I felt like a fish underwater, which could go wherever it liked.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the first one.
So I thought I said that I think it's it may be someone looking through the window, looking at life going on while sitting there in his bedroom thinking about something else, maybe. Emil?
I would say, and I felt dizzy. Yes, dizzy. Yes, just dizzy.
Yes, it is. It's dizzy. Maybe someone crying, looking through the window.
Or just the car is running so fast. Okay, your car is running so fast. I can see all things that are unclear. The car I got for my birthday.
Oh, it was the 39th birthday, so it was a very tough night. So the one who is driving is
was so drunk.
A little bit drunk, maybe. So everything is dizzy. It's not Ramadan.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
We are not in Tunisia, no.
Yes,
no
we are saying out of mind.
Very good. All right, great, and very imaginative. A big round of applause for everybody. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. To be continued.
Normally what I would do is, have you write this out, write out the story, and then, one or two of you would present it to the rest of the class along with the pictures. But because of time, we'll skip ahead. You know how that's done. So let me just mute you all, and that way we'll get rid of the background noise here. Okay, so with this, so very creative use of the pictures, and you notice it wasn't easy. That was the whole idea, because you saw what was happening when you were forming the story. There was negotiating, there was discussion, there was a lot of creativity, some innovation, and the idea is to get the group discussing exactly like this. And what you were doing is you were more focused on what was in the picture and how to build a coherent story than you were about the relative clause. Nobody said, oh, where's the relative clause? The relative clause came automatically without discussion. The discussion took place outside of the grammar. So what became important was building the story and not the grammar. But you know what? I did notice a few times people made some corrections in grammar. And this is the idea. As a group, you work together and you're building a coherent story. And let me just show you. I have a group, a whole bunch of these. What I normally do is within the classroom, I'll give each group a different one. And you can see I take some pretty strange pictures. But the more creative and the stranger the picture, the more creative people need to become. Now, you can do this with your own pictures. You can do this with taking pictures off the internet. I don't like to pay royalties or worry about copyright, so that's why I use my own pictures. I never have to worry about it. Now, so I have 7 of these that I make up, and that usually covers me for every class. If it's a bigger class, then sometimes I double up. Now, if you copy this down, what I've done is I've put these 7 pictures and the instructions on the website. So if you go to this, feel free to use my pictures with your class. You can, download them, print them out, everything else. Or use your own. Or another thing you do is you have students bring in the pictures, put them in a pile, pick them randomly, and then they have to do random pictures, which could be interesting also. So I'll show this again later, just to make sure you get it. But the thing is, if you noticed, everybody was relatively relaxed, and you remember the story that you talked about. It was something that you could all relate to because you all took your own ideas and your own reality and you brought that into the story. It wasn't somebody else's story from, a course book or from another book that wasn't relatable to you. I remember when learning language, in teaching out of a course book, you have sentences like, my Aunt Sally and I go shopping on Sundays at the mall. Well, I don't have an Aunt Sally. I don't go shopping, and I hate the malls. So it really didn't relate to me. So we want to use images and make them relatable to the students and support the language and stimulate a story. And a good story, as I said before, it's ageless, it's timeless. We remember good stories forever. So remembering this, now what we've done is we've used auditory and visual to build up better retention. And in this case, hopefully better retention for relative clauses in this particular case, because they've been practicing it, they've repeated it, and they've repeated the sentences over and over again. So again, if we look at what we were doing, did you do analytic thinking while you were looking at the pictures? Yes. Did you use your creativity and originality? Most definitely. You were problem solving, coming up with a story. There was some leadership and social influence in there. For instance, asking each other, what do you think? Somebody taking control, leading the story, and problem solving. So we hit a lot of the skills that our students are going to need in the future and that are engaging for them. So this, it ticks all the right boxes. It works with a communicative approach. It's PBL, TBL. It is task-based because they're going to be working on this in class. And it's without using the book or materials. This can be a cultural activity. If you have mixed classes, like I do sometimes online, I have many different cultures. And so mixing with cultures is always interested, and it's fun. So with that being said, let me go back to, I think I copied it here. I'll go back to the slide just so you can give me a second. Make sure you get it. There it is. Okay, so once again, if you want to use my slides, feel free. That's the address. And you can get those pictures. But I recommend, build your own. I'm sure if you go through your own pictures, you can come up with pictures. It's easy to get these, just Google them.
May I have just a remark to do? So
Yeah.
For teachers, for my colleagues here in Tunisia, there are even picture clusters that we can buy. Can I show you some of the examples for my colleagues? And they are very relative to our to the levels we are teaching.
Okay, great. These are good.
These are my biggest collection of them. It's like this. You see?
Yeah.
So they are strongly, closely related to the themes we are teaching. We can buy them.
Yeah,
there's for no resource classes.
Yes. And even if you just do a picture, put a picture up from Google, anything, open magazines. I have friends of mine here in Poland have this thing, it's business photo cards. And this was designed to get people in class to talk. And it's a collection of cards with all different photographs. These are designed for business English classes. But I mean, anything, any collection of pictures will work. And, the more unrelated, the better, because it makes for more
imagination, more creativity.
Perfect.
Something?
Yes, Rabia.
We just can go on Google Photo and we choose pictures on random.
Yep.
And we make pupils make story out of them.
Exactly.
They don't have to be related. They don't have to be sequenced.
Exactly.
At random. That's it.
Yes, the idea is to just pick any picture that's going to make them think.
Exactly.
And what I think is the best is make them not fit together. Because then it makes it harder to build a story. It's like, I thought that was brilliant, thinking those were candles, putting the candles in the moon together and saying it's a romantic dinner.
Because the students are required to find linkers to go from one picture to another, try to find solutions, try to find things that match.
Exactly.
To be creative, imaginative, and critical. That's the objective, after all, to use the language critically, creatively, and imaginatively. Okay, they need to be triggered.
That's imagination. Yes, let's work their imagination.
And really, when you do this, and when you find you work with this, and I've done this a lot with teens, is they forget they're in an English class. They're not thinking about the English. They're not thinking about grammar or vocabulary. They're thinking about having fun within the classroom and building a story. And that's what we're looking to do, is get them engaged in using the language.
Learning in a natural way. Naturally.
Exactly.
Acquiring the language naturally.
Exactly.
Being unaware of structures, rules, etc. It comes naturally. They are building the story, enjoying it, and getting really involved in within. So they produce unaware of the mechanisms of the language we are trying hard to teach.
Yep, that's it. And, you can do this if you're working on a vocabulary lesson. You can then require some of that vocabulary. You can require different types of grammar. I gave you a choice. The nice thing about doing that, when I gave you a choice of the grammar, now it was your choice to pick relative clauses, not mine. You own the project, not me.
Yeah.
And other than, I was pushing you a little bit, number one for time, and number one to, because you are online. But basically, when I do this in the classroom, I can take a nap. The groups themselves work together. They know what they have to do. And there's very little teacher involvement. So what do you think? Better to build a story than to just tell one?
بإنجليزي طبعا
I prefer story building activities to telling stories to my students, because my instructor always tells us to minimize our talking time as teachers. So I think story building activities can be very helpful, and they can get students engaged, as you said.
Yep.
In fact, I think story building is the best way to make learners review and produce language, use it naturally, as I said. Story building is one of my favorite activities, and I vary the strategies and the techniques. I like the way that building a story makes them use the different kind of tenses, make them use letters, make them use vocabulary, make them use their imagination and their creativity.
That's it.
I don't know. I usually get involved with them, maybe because I'm a little bit their age and I get interested in stories like them. I get engaged. I don't think that the story building is an activity which makes me economize or save my energy. I feel really involved within all the stories. Sometimes I try to find links between the stories, maximum 2 or 3 stories within a class.
Yeah.
Okay. But story building is something really helpful to make them independent.
Exactly. And this is the whole idea is for me, I'm trying to build autonomous learners and really autonomous users, because they're going to be learning and using this for the rest of their life. They need to feel comfortable. They need to feel that they're able to express themselves and not just repeat sentences that come out of a course book.
Yes, and that's the objective. Students are reluctant to use the language in an academic way, but they like speaking English or talking in English or reading in English. They like listening to English, but not the academic way we are teaching them.
Yes.
Story building is an opportunity for them to express themselves. Here, I want just to say, no judgment. Let them be free. That's very crucial.
Exactly.
Don't judge their stories. Every story matters.
Yes.
Key.
Yep. And what's fun is you can do different variations of this. For example, I'll have in some classes, I've done 5 groups using the same picture. And then what we can do is afterwards talk about how different the stories were using the same pictures. Then what we can do is in a different one, we can talk about how similar the stories were from different pictures. And it gives us all different ways that we can go just off of one simple activity that they get engaged in. And you know what? I didn't teach anything.
Yes.
I didn't have to. And the amazing part with this is that I find they're more open to asking questions, looking for vocabulary. They'll work as a group. Usually somebody in the group knows it. Or once in a while, they'll actually ask me for a dictionary, something unheard of in the classroom. Because they want to know what a word is. And it's fun. The time goes quickly. It's amazing some of the creative things you hear. That particular one, somebody was saying at the end of it, it was all a dream with that circle. And I was like, wow, great idea. Another one was they traveled through time. It was a time machine. And, you know, I was crying looking through the window. Hey, look at the creativity. You don't get that in a regular classroom with a course book.
Never. And
This
everybody wants to say a word, and that's the
Yes.
most important. Everyone wants to be engaged and involved.
Yeah,
This is what we don't find in class.
exactly.
Maybe you have to work with one or two learners who are already competent or higher level achievers. Okay,
Yeah.
not everyone wants to say a word in a normal class.
Yep. And another thing that I do someday, Mohammed, if you want to invite me back in the future, I have another one. Another project that I work on is my students actually make their own films.
Wow,
And I work a lot with student-made films. And this has been amazing, the production you get out of it. But Emna, you said something, I'm pretty sure it was you, which is something that I felt a long time ago, is we need to be non-judgmental, because teenagers, yes, we were all teenagers once. Some would say I still am, but you know, we're opinionated, we have our ideas, we have everything. We really are stupid and don't know what we're talking about.
Yes.
But at this point in our life, we're building our voice.
Yes.
And right or wrong, we need to give them the ability to develop their voice in English. So
there is something I just want to add right here. You know, I tell my pupils, I usually and often tell them that I don't care. It doesn't mind what they think. The matter for me, the thing I care for is how you say. Think whatever you want, just say it correctly. That's my objective in class. That's what I say to my learners. Say whatever you want. If you are for or against smoking, it's up to you. It's your choice. Just express it correctly. That's the way we deal with each other. Yeah. I don't judge their negative being. When I'm saying negative, I'm judging, right? But yeah. I don't think I need to let them. I think that I need to let them feel free and have trust in me, faith and confidence. She's not going to tell I'm a bad girl or a bad boy. Yeah. No, yeah. She's going to accept everything. Just say it correctly.
Yep. So anyone else, any feedback, any questions? You can raise your hand, you can type in the chat, you can unmute.
I think story building activities are a bit challenging for low achievers because we are struggling with many issues as Tunisian English teachers. And I think how can we, I have a question, how can we use story building activities in classes of low achievers? How can we do that?
Well, it's, I've been very fortunate that I never had any. So I'm not talking from experience.
Okay.
I've had motivated students, but what I find is when you're working with groups, be very careful how you split the groups up. And for instance, if I have 5 or 6, who don't want to get involved, put them in separate groups with the people that really want to get involved, because peer pressure will make everybody do something. If you noticed, we were pushing other people to give their opinion on what they thought the picture was.
Okay. Can I have? Can I have?
If I may add something to the discussion.
Yes, Mohammed.
Thank you. Yes, it's interesting. Qais's remark really is in its right place. He's asking about if storytelling can be applicable for low achievers. So here, I think that we've had an experience now in front of us being carried out with our 5 colleagues. There are difficulties, and these difficulties, the teacher should think in pedagogical terms of how to sort them out. and how to solve these problems before coming to class, I think. Well, if you got, for example, my suggestion is that when you come to class and you think that you got to bring, to create groups of mixed abilities, you should think about how to provide hints at the back of each picture, for example.
Okay.
Clues. This is one thing. Another thing, and I think it's, yes, Amna, just wait a second, I'll give you the floor. Yeah, so another thing is what I have noticed as not working in this practical task you've been carrying out, which is that you waste a lot of time thinking about the sentences and seeing if your colleagues would accept it or not and how to improve them. So the best way to, just to not to waste time is to get the pupil and to make the activity engaging and appealing to the learners, is to let the learners themselves choose their own pictures. You give them a topic, for example, suggest a topic, let them free for 5 minutes to Google. And as Sirabia said, that they can go to Google Photos, or so they can pick up pictures of their own choice, which they think fit in the topic, not any pictures. So in that case, I think, and also assigning roles. And making pupils responsible, asking students that they have to assume their own responsibilities, that in a given time, they have to come up with sentences, and that, for example, that each student should make his own or her own sentence. In that case, you're adding knowledge how to direct it, how to guide the task to make it successful, I think. So there are lots of things to take into consideration, I think, to make your activity successful. I hope you got the point.
Yeah, very valid.
Thank you.
All right, so I just wanted to add or to talk about examples of low achievers. How do we handle this task with low achievers? For example, because we have the same context, we work in the same context. Qais, I'm talking mainly with you or to you. Okay, so sometimes we need to differentiate the activity itself. So for low achievers, for example, we can start with a dictation, then we provide the lexical items we need corresponding to the pictures. Then we are making things easier to make sentences by providing these vocabulary items, the pictures, and it's easier for them. For example, depends on the difficulty, the degree of difficulty, on the degree of how high achievers or low achievers are our learners.
Yes. Well,
this is the way I usually work with seventh forms, for example. I provide them through the dictation with vocabulary items they use to use the grammar and make sentences corresponding to the stories. Then we start linking things to get a coherent story, for example.
I'm considering this step, but I think giving the student specific vocabulary items to be used can minimize their freedom and their creativity, because we need the students to be creative and imagine a story. And I think we should encourage our students to use their own vocabulary items and create their own stories.
I totally agree, Grace, but you said with low achievers. If they are low achievers, so that they don't have vocabulary items to use, that's the problem. They don't have the English words. They don't have the English structures. So are they going to express themselves in Arabic? That's the problem. They are low achievers.
Yeah.
I think
high achiever class, it's okay.
I think one other thing to keep in mind is sometimes what you want to do is, if you want to work on a targeted type story, for instance, if we're talking about, I want you to write a story about the pandemic, So that's a good time that I might have specific vocabulary, you know, that they need some reinforcement with,
Yes.
writing about a specific topic. But again, I agree, the freedom is nice. You know, having some tools there, you have to decide what tool who needs. You know, for
You need to
example,
sacrifice one of the two.
with my story, I believe in modeling, and that's why I told my story, showing how I used the perfect tenses within a story. And you know, always model beforehand and give them the idea of what you're looking for, but give them the freedom and the creativity time. I think you'll get them more engaged.
I think also that, yeah.
Mhm. Go ahead.
I think that we should go step by step for beginners. For example, put a first objective. For example, it's not from the very beginning of the school year that we are waiting for the student to tell a whole story. So first of all, give them pictures. Let's wait, for example, for some just words. Give them the freedom to say words. And step by step, they will build their vocabulary and they will be able to tell more words. And of course, by the end of the school year or by the end of, let's say, after a period of time, they will be able to tell their own stories. And concerning your idea of making short films, it's a very nice idea. Mm-hmm. And personally, I give project works for my students and I ask them to make short films if they like, because there are students who don't like to make, for example, to draw pictures or to get information from the internet, etc. So right. I ask them to, concerning, for example, house plans, I ask them to make short videos filming their houses and, for example, commenting on this video, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I actually have, if you search on Facebook, I have a project I did years ago called Shelfies. And what they did is the students took a picture of their shelf, put it in a Facebook group, and they had to write a 75-word essay about why the things on their shelves are important to them. You know, some would have books, some would have toys, some would have family pictures. And it's, you know, this whole idea of the community reading each other's stuff and looking at each other's things.
Just a remark right here, Rob. Mm-hmm. To make learners creative and imaginative, you need to be yourself creative too. That's not something given to anybody. You need to be creative yourself so that you make them creative.
It helps. But you, Samia, you just gave me a great idea. Working with younger levels is bringing in pictures to work on vocabulary from day one. And then you keep a box where you collect them. And as you get through the year, you have to pick out 10 different pictures and make a story out of the vocabulary you've learned during the year.
Yes.
You know, there's so many different ways. Hey, we're teachers, we're creative too. You know, always think about different ways that we can make the activity work for us. And the whole idea is to get them using the language. So. Yes.
And I think also that there is no harm if you guide the students from the first level.
Sure.
You guide them using questions, etc., as you did with us showing your pictures. Yeah. So I think that there is no harm, and you will not limit their freedom.
Yeah, and you know, I find the more you open up yourself, how can you? It's like I was saying in the beginning. How can you get your students to turn on their cameras if I can't get half the teachers to? You know, it's motivating them. How do I get them to open up and write a story about themselves if I'm not willing to open up and write a story about me? You know, and this is why I think we need to model more and give them an example so they know exactly what's expected, but to also show we're willing to do the same thing.
Okay, true.
Great. Mohammed, I think you have to unmute.
Yeah, sorry. I've been muting myself. So I think it's also possible to not to use, but because because this training session is about using image clusters. But I think you can do this storytelling, exercise or activity using music and tape script of a song. Okay, I remember we did it once with an American expert who presented a poem for us. We read the poem. Then later he played the instrumental part of the poem, and because it's originally it's a song. So we heard the rhythm and how things go together, the words with the music played. And then later on he said, okay, now forget about this tape script and let's listen to a piece of music and create your own poems. And I remember that was the song, I'm Sailing, if you remember that. I'm sailing to be near you, to be free. I don't know. It's a good song. Have you heard it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm sailing. So.
Yeah, the Christopher, there's a lot of them about sailing.
Yeah.
I think that is for Michael Bolton, I think. By Michael Bolton.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. It was okay. It was known popular in the 80s.
It's Stewart, I think.
That's it. Yeah, I think it's for Stewart. Yeah.
Oh, that's before my time. I'm too young.
so we, the teachers that were trainees, okay, were new trainees are new recruits. So each of us produced a good song, made a good poem, and it was in harmony with the music played, and everything went well. The teacher should be creative,
Oh yeah.
Creativity plays much, when it comes to teaching, and that's it.
It's like another one that I've done in the past was I'll use a song from a different culture in a different language that they don't understand, and maybe something that's emotional, and then have them write the imagery that they get from the music.
That's it.
And working the opposite direction,
Yeah, right.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So you should be creative. You should be patient and true. Passion and true. To make a story building session.
Yeah. And also, just maybe because here we are in a teaching learning situation. Okay, this activity I believe is a student-centered activity, and as Rob said, it provides students with autonomy. Okay, the pupils will work autonomously, spontaneously, and most naturally using the language. And it depends on the objective of the teacher. The objective the teacher wants to set for his lesson plan. He can begin with storytelling activity in the presentation stage. He can start with it as an icebreaker. He can use it as by the end of a reading lesson, a reading activity to sum up a text, for example, using pictures. Or just as a pre-writing task, to help the learners write sentences, and then later on maybe they'll develop their paragraphs, adding linkers to these sentences, and come up with coherent paragraphs.
Well, that's what I like about the activity is there's so many different directions you can go with it.
Yeah.
And, the idea is that they're having fun, they're engaged, they're working together and being creative. And then once you've gotten them to do that warm up, you can take them virtually anywhere with that, which is great.
Yeah, true.
Good.
And the pupils now, they've got their mobile phones with the photo apps, You know, they can just take photos in class at any time. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's easy and practical. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I've
really productive, mainly very productive.
yeah. One thing I've done before too with class is I told the students, all right, your homework for the weekend is to go take 10 strange pictures that you're going to give to someone else to have to write a story. Oh, they have fun with that because they look.
That's a great idea. That's nice too.
You know, but it
Very
gets
nice.
them all involved, you know. Now the person who took the picture is a very involved listener to the person who's speaking, you know.
So Rob, today we're bringing to us something related to your art.
Yes,
it goes together with your style in life.
that's true. I'm very
a musician,
creative.
an artist.
Yeah, I try. You know, I'm everything but a teacher, so that's why. I'm a facilitator of learning.
Yeah.
But
it didn't make us hear any of your songs, or we want to hear some.
Yes, it's a chance to get rid of the chains of audio lingualism. So,
that Rod has got a guitar. Okay, I think that Rod is going to play something for us.
No, I'm a union musician, so I would have to charge you money.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, great. If there aren't any other questions, I'm, you know.
It's up to the teachers if they got any queries, any questions.
Anything else?
Any
we have a lot of
improvements?
quiet teachers.
For me, I just want to say thank you. It was nice to have you with us. It was very rich and productive. The session is really productive and rich. Hope we are getting rid soon of this pandemic so that we can practice such activities in our classes in real life situations.
But you bring up a good point, because I didn't do it here today because you were teachers. There's no reason that you cannot put them into breakout rooms and have them work as a group in small breakout rooms.
Yes.
And then bring them back. So this is an online activity also.
Also, everything can be upgraded into technology.
Yep.
The classic ways we work can be transformed into high-tech tools too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Rob, if I want to ask you about something,
yes.
Are you in connection with other teachers now? Do you have any teachers you can communicate with or work with?
I would say only about 500 or 600.
I was thinking about organizing a meeting, a debate, okay, with some teachers from there, with my teachers, just to come online together in a Zoom session and express their views and share their experiences, make friends, why not? And create kind of threads of helping each other and sharing experiences and so on. If you can tell this suggestion to, if you can suggest this to the people you are dealing with. Well, so my teachers can come at any time.
Yeah.
And then they can join this discussion. We see new faces and have a debate about different things, even sharing opinion about the different countries.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. We do this.
The purpose is because during these turbulent times of coronavirus, the teachers need to practice their English here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's if you forget about practicing your English, it means that you are undergoing system of fossilization.
Exactly.
When the day comes, we're going to face the pupils. You'll not find yourself.
Yep.
That's a problem. We've been through this experience for a long time now. Just the teachers, when they used to be working face to face with the inspectors and attending meetings and training sessions, they have the floor, they express their minds, their opinions, and so on. So they keep improving their English. And but when they stay in a lockdown period like this, far away from practicing their English with their colleagues, or if they don't attend any meetings like these, you can really forget about lots of things.
Yeah.
So I think my idea is to invite other colleagues from either from Poland or from the States.
Oh, everywhere.
See, Mohammed, I have another suggestion. Our association, yes, our association arranged trips to the UK. Why don't we organize trips to the US?
No, we're talking about now. We're talking about now.
Yes, of course.
No one is organizing that.
We're talking about now, Emna.
After the pandemic,
we're talking about the trainings. Okay,
yes, I know, training sessions. Yeah,
training sessions within our work, you know.
Yeah,
and it's possible
something
now.
very nice.
Something we can do. Yeah,
I'm gonna talk to some of the people with EFL Talks, and you know, there we have we've got about 4,000 teachers following that right now, and let me put together a couple of dates, and we do. I do this right now for the Business English SIG.
We'll invite you all together to come to Tunisia. We'll host you. Why not?
That sounds
we'll
good.
Develop a good and strong friendship. Why not? Visiting each other, and so these kind of things, you know, just improves relationships.
Yep.
And improves communication and dialogue between people. You know.
Good. We'll be talking very soon.
Yeah, that's a humanitarian universal value, which we as educators preach.
Very good. I'm going to work on this. We'll put something together, and I'll be talking to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, please keep in touch.
Yeah.
And I think my colleagues also will keep in touch with you. You got Rob is in Facebook. He's in our group now. He's in TS.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
You got I'm in the group.
Email. You can talk to him anytime. And okay, I think I'll wait for something from you. In this
here, and I'm going to put in here in the chat. This is my landing page. So if you go to my landing page, it has everything: my talks, the projects that I do, the books I write, where to find me on Facebook, where to find me anywhere. You'll find me everywhere except for the bars.
So
it's right here.
www.howard.me.
Yes, very easy to
it's
find.
Easy as that.
Yep.
It's good, yeah.
So
this is your website?
Yeah, one of many. I have like 6. That's why I had to make a landing page. So that'll give you everything. But
thank you very much.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great job to the story builders.
Yeah.
Good work.
That's great. Thank you. And Rob, don't forget, tomorrow we'll have another training session with secondary teachers, of course. Those of you who want to join again, they're welcome. Okay, so we're using the same link. And I think as long as you're staying at home now, because in Tunisia, teachers are not teaching now. They're staying at home now in the lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah,
so if you want to join again, you're welcome anyway. Yeah.
Very good. It's the same link as today, same time, 11 o'clock Tunisia.
You got it this 1 p.m. there, 1:27 p.m. in Poland?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's 1 hour difference.
Yeah.
Did you have any lunch?
Actually, I was lucky enough when, because I came early, I snuck off and had a quick sandwich.
So here it's Ramadan, you know, teachers are fasting.
Okay.
Okay, Rob, I was really glad and happy to see you today. And really, I'd like to thank you for this valuable training session. You're also a good person. Okay, we're happy to meet you. Thank you.
And I'm a cute little kid.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, I'll see
Yeah,
you.
so
All right, thanks, Mohammed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very
Everybody.
much.
Goodbye.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Thank
Have a
you.
nice day. Thank
Bye.
you all. Thank you all.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Guys, bye.